Hello everyone, hello, happy Valentine's Day Eve, I guess it is. Good to see you here. I think this is the third, well, is it the 12th, 13th, 14th, 100th, I'm not sure. Losing track of yeah, how many of these live videos I've done now. But yeah, so welcome again, thanks for joining. And hello there, Scotty, hi, how are you doing? Good to see you both, good to see you both. Lovely chocolate bars there next to your names, perfect. Is it snow where you are, Alan, by the way? It's still, yeah, we're still, well, it's basically been cold here, but it's not been snowing, you know. So yeah, we've kind of had, we haven't had the benefit of the cold weather. We've just had the cold, so never mind. Yeah, never mind. I hope you're both doing okay, and hope everyone else is doing okay as well. Yeah, well, Valentine's Day special, I guess. Yes, so we've got the yeah, there we go. Look at that, Hotel Chocolat. I don't know how you pronounce that. Chocolat, Chocolat. I'm not really sure how you're how you're meant to pronounce it, but chocolate, I guess, maybe. Who knows? But there we go. Got the With Love H box. Yeah, so they do loads of H boxes. I mean, you probably already know, but in case you don't, H boxes are a range of sort of their sort of mini selection boxes. They're relatively expensive, really. They're over £10. And they're not really. I think they only, the H shape only, or the H, depending how you want to pronounce it, it only extends to this front part here. I don't actually think on the inside it is actually any way, shape or form H-shaped or anything like that. But because it says a collection of 14 irresistible heart-shaped chocolates filled with caramelous fruits, tipples and pralines. So we've got the pralines again. Yeah, snow very lightly. Yeah, just mildly. I thought, yeah, I was expecting a lot worse with the weather. Actually, they were saying it was going to be the beast from the east too, didn't they, and stuff like that. You know, and the UK was completely covered in snow that time. But it doesn't seem to have happened. There seems to have been some bad snow in some places, of course, but not quite everywhere. So, yeah, it looks to have been one of those, really. Yeah, so there we go. But, well, hopefully it's not... Well, I guess it would be a good time for it to do that, wouldn't it? What with everyone not really travelling about much, but there we are. Hi there, Rick. How are you doing? Good to see you back. Good to see you back. Hope everything's going okay in Canada. I guess in Canada it's probably... I don't know. The stereotypical weather is sort of minus 20 all the time in Canada. I don't know if that's actually how it is, but I'm sure you've, you know, maybe sort of, I don't know. I guess in Scotland the stereotype is quite cold in there as well, really. But you know, well, Scotty has been posting photos on the Discord chat of it being snowy most of the time, so maybe it's true. I don't know. Hope you're doing okay, Rick, as well. As I say, good to see you, Scotty and Alan, as well. Glad you're doing all right. Yeah, so I got this via mail order. I don't know if Hotel Chocolat is still open. I'm going to say Chocolat. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but you know, but I got it for the mail order, so they are sending it out through the post. Now I did have to pay a bit of postage for it, which isn't ideal, but there we go. You know, it's Valentine's Day special. What can I say? Yeah, summer's all right. Well, summer, yeah, basically in England at least. I think Scotland's a bit different, but in England, the weather's just basically rainy most of the time, even in the summer. Sometimes we'll get a couple of weeks of really hot weather, and then everyone complains it's too hot. So that's about it, really. Okay, so it looks very nice. So you can see in the corner here, I do have I have sort of a bit of a last minute panic. Basically, I missed off one of the chocolates by accident 5 minutes to go before 4 o'clock. So I had to quickly rush, and luckily I'd got it set up just so I could do it, because I had to manipulate it a bit because long story short, they weren't symmetrical, so I had to sort of make it symmetrical for my own well-being. Yeah, so there you go. So you can make it a bit bigger here, so you can see. Yeah, you can see there the different sections we've got. Now there are descriptions on the website, which is a bit rubbish really, because it's not on the. Well, it might be in the box. I'm not sure. We'll open it in a second. But here's what we're up against anyway. So there's 14 chocolates in total, and there's 9 different types. Now, of course, the problem with this, as you can immediately imagine, there's going to be more than one of some, and 2, you know, and only 1 of others. So I guess in theory, you're only meant to be potentially giving this to one person, and they're presumably going to eat it themselves, maybe giving you the odd one. So, you know, you can perhaps get away with that, but I don't know. See, I still don't like that. I like it to be where, you know, just in case there's one you prefer over others or whatever, you know, you might get sort of 2 of one that you don't like and only 1 of one you do like and stuff like that. Or someone's come and pinched one that you wanted, you know. So, yeah, it's one of those, really. It's one of those. But yes, it's a very British thing as well to be discussing the weather as well. That's what we do a lot of the time, Rick. As well. I don't know if it's like that in Canada, but yeah. Oh dear. But yes, yeah, the colours are very nice, aren't they? I have to say, the colours are very distinctive and very nice. I like the way that they've obviously used, they've shaped them all in the same way, which, you know, is a plus or a minus depending on how you want to do it. But it's a heart shaped. It's not that it's a symmetrical heart as well. So it's not one of these newfangled asymmetrical hearts where there's like a, I don't know, curly tip on the end or something like that. But yeah, they've used very vibrant colours really. Now I don't know if they're very reminiscent of what's in it generally. As you can see, you know, the raspberry praline's not got any raspberry colour on it, which is the second from the left on the top row. You know, so there we go. So we'll see. We'll give it an open first. We'll just see if there's any extra blurb or something on the inside. Okay, so here's the. I'll tell you what. It doesn't actually come sealed, by the way. I didn't have to break that open or anything like that. But yeah, you're right, Scotty. They do look very nice. They really do look very nice. But yeah, so you got this sort of cover. It's got that sort of H on it. As I say, I think the H only extends really to that basically. It's a bit of a gimmick, something to call it, I guess. But they do all loads of them. They do like winter H boxes, summer ones. I don't know. Christmas ones, Mother's Day ones. I did see the Mother's Day one that was exactly the same as one of the other ones. It seemed like they just repackaged one, but there we go. That's what we're up against. So you can see there is some kind of card behind there. So we'll grab that in a minute. Yeah, this bit is all sealed here. So this bit's actually all sealed together in a plastic wrapper. So there you go. Hi QP, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? It's a difficult time to pick a time so everyone can make it really. So I'm just being consistent with it basically. So it's always 4 PM on Saturday UK time, GMT. Might change to BST when the clocks go forward. But you know, so yeah. So I do apologise if it's a difficult time. It's one of those. And hi Luke, good you could see it as well. Good you could see it. Good you could make it. Great great that you're here. Yeah, it's good to see you again, Luke. I'm glad you're doing okay. Yeah, so I think we should give it an open then. Yeah, give it an open. So you're missing no football on today, Luke. By the way, is that the is that the gist of it? I know it's a difficult time. We're just talking about the times, and I know 4 PM is a typical. Well, 3 or 4 PM is football times, isn't it? Really. So I know you're into that. So, but glad you could make it. Okay, so I'll give this an open then. So obviously now we have to be careful because we can't tip them out up until this point, but now we are susceptible to that. So once we've opened it, so there is a drawstring actually, a pull tab rather. Sometimes I find the pull tabs are more trouble than the worth, though. It can depend. But this one's pretty good. So the box is pretty. I'd say it's as tightly packed as you could probably realistically ask it to be. You know, I mean, obviously there is a bit more space, but it's probably fair enough for it to be like that. Okay, right. So yes, I'm just taking the wrapper off now. Yeah, so there's minimal damage. There's some, I don't know if you can quite see on the camera, but there's some scuffs on this plastic cellophane where the chocolates have touched it, but nothing. You probably can't really see actually. But well, in fact, that's half the point, isn't it? The fact there's not much. There's minimal scuffage there, so the chocolates are still in good condition. Not very. I'm just being careful. Yeah. So let's have a look. So yeah, you can clearly see at first, like for instance, this raspberry praline. There's only one of them, which is the dark chocolate offering. Where is it here? There's only one of those. It's a bit of a shame. So which ones have we only got one of? So there should be only, let's see, it's 14 chocolates, 9 things. So there's 5 of them, I think. Is that right? 5 of them? Yeah, yes it is. 5 we don't have 2 of. So there's raspberry praline we don't have 2 of. Looks like we don't have 2 of this one up here and the this one here, which looks to be the salted espresso. Don't have 2 of those. Yeah, that's the only 2 I can easily spot at the moment, so that's not making much sense. But oh yeah, this one here as well. That one in the middle on the left, which looks to be the raspberry, rose and lychee, I think it is. Lychee. I think that's tea, isn't it? So that's 3 of them. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then maybe this one as well here. That one. Macadamia praline, is it? There should be one other that we don't have 2 of. Yeah, I think it's this one up here, isn't it? I've already mentioned that one. Salted espresso, I've mentioned that. Yeah, in which case, I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah, it's difficult. Well, there must be another one, but yeah, I can't see it. Oh well, we'll perhaps discover it as we go along, I guess. But yeah, there we go. But no, that's at least 4 anyway. Maybe that's right. Yes, let's see. Now, the game's postponed, was it, Luke? Ah, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, I see. Okay, well, glad you could make it. Maybe at some point, you know, you'll be able to make it again. But if not, I'm glad you could make it for at least this time. Yeah, I've not had any Hotel Chocolat for a long time because they're very well. The problem is a lot of the cheaper ones. You buy in boxes of 6 chocolates, you know, so you buy them for like £4, but it's 6 of all the same chocolates, and I kind of want a variety really, and then you've got to spend up to £12 to get the variety. So that's the problem I find with Hotel Chocolat stuff. yeah, it's you know, as I say, you have to spend over £10 to get a selection of more than one chocolate, really, and well, roughly anyway. It might be slightly different, but you know, yes, there we go. I know I should be giving it. Yeah, you're right, Rick. I should be. Yeah, if only, if only, if only I could find the right lady in my life. But there we go. What can I say? There's no one daft enough out there. That's the problem. Yeah. So, unpopular opinion when you say, "Oh, it's well, you know, QP. I mean, I'm not. Well, we'll say, I mean, I've been looking at the online ratings of a lot of their chocolates. QP was basically saying Hotel Chocolat are overrated, really. And to be honest with you, they've not got. I mean, they've got over 3 stars, basically about 4 stars on average, but they've not. No one seems to be blown away by the chocolates, you know. So yeah, I don't know. I think it is a lot of style. There is some substance there, but I think there's more style than substance, basically. And I think that's partly of it, really, isn't it? When you buy presents for people, and chocolate selections are generally a gift for people, aren't they? Or they're a good gift for people. The style is important, isn't it? You know what I mean? And that's where sort of, you know, why really even those sort of own brand sort of you know, supermarket chocolates might be as good as, you know, Cadbury's Roses or whatever, but because they're an own brand one, people will just say, well, I'm buying this as a gift for someone, I'll pay an extra £1 or £2 for the roses, you know what I mean? And you know, it's the way it goes, isn't it? You know, so I think that's the way it is. Yeah, but yeah, Scotty, yeah, I agree. Yeah, you just want, you know, yeah, you just want a variety, and it just means I don't really want to get sort of 6 of the same chocolate, you know, in these little packs they do. And yeah, and that's the problem, really. I mean, it's not that they wouldn't be nice, but I don't really want 6. I want a sample of variety, you know. Yeah, so they just don't sell them in the right packs for me. That's been a problem I've had. Yeah, Scotty, you know my pain. Yeah, well, this is it. This is it. There's someone daft enough out there, but the problem is because they're probably so similar, they'll be they'll be, you know, like basically just, I don't know, doing their own thing and not, you know, not looking in the same way that we're perhaps not looking for them. So there we go. But we'll get them one day, I'm sure. Okay, well, there we go. Right, so I think we should perhaps, well, let's just lift the top off. Let's have a look. So it's quite a nice box actually here as well, I have to say. It looks quite a nice little container here. But I'm just lifting that off because underneath there's a little, it says menu as well. I don't know why I didn't see that it said menu before, but it does say it. See that it pulls out as well, so it's quite nice. There we go. Well, we've got on the back, it's just got that, which is pretty much the image I've got in the top corner. Hopefully it's equivalent. Yeah. Yeah, it would. Yeah, I don't know who the main competitors really are. I mean, to be honest with you, you don't see that many. Oh, here we go. We have got a decent menu here. That's not bad, is it? I could technically make a screenshot of this and then perhaps replace the other one with that. I don't know whether that's a good idea to do that or not. Yeah, I think I'll keep it the same. I think won't overcomplicate it. But there we go. So it tells you whether they've got alcohol in it or not, which is quite good. So you got we've got the little descriptions here. So there we go. Yeah, I could take a screenshot basically and just replace the one in the corner, but I think it might be just be getting a bit complicated. No reason there, I don't know. Well, let me know if you think I should, or whether I should replace it or not. But we've got a different type, so what do you reckon? Should we? What do you reckon we should start with? Yeah, but anyone know who's Hotel Chocolat's competitors are? I don't. I must admit, I don't know. I think. Let's try. I mean, there are lots of sort of what's the word? I forgot what they call them now. There are lots of sort of cocoa specialists online and things that you can get. You know, lots of people selling chocolates and stuff like this. You know, I don't know if there's any direct competition because there's not. I mean, maybe Thornton's might be really. I guess Thornton's possibly. You know, they might be a bit of a competitor because they have their own sort of high street shops like Hotel Chocolat does. And they used to be quite a market, but I think they're less trendy than they used to be. You know, I think they're a bit more, still nice, but I think possibly an older market for those really. You know, it's a bit like one of those. But I don't know, they're still nice, but they're possibly a competitor. But they're a bit more prevalent in regular supermarkets now. So you do see more of them in just regular supermarkets. So, you know, they're a bit, I think they've tried to basically diversify a bit and be a bit more prevalent in everyday society, I guess. So not quite the same anymore. But yeah, and then maybe Lindt as well, like you say, Scotty. Yeah. Yeah, great minds think alike there. A few drinks tonight, yes. Well, I'm not much of a drinker, really. I must say. But you know, maybe. But you know, the thing is, some of these chocolates have a bit of alcohol in, so I might be drunk off chocolates. Who knows? I don't know if anyone's ever managed that, but. Although yeah, I think they actually, it doesn't actually say how much non-alcoholic. What does it say at the bottom? Okay, so some got a symbol to say it's available as a little selection. Ricotta peanuts. Doesn't say how much alcohol actually sort of has in it. I assume it's just a little bit really, but there we go. Doesn't say the percentage or anything like that, I don't think. Yeah. Okay. Which means better out of Thorntons? Well, to be honest with you, Thorntons are more prevalent, and you have a lot more Thorntons in everyday situations, really. I've been doing some of my other live reviews have been Thorntons chocolates and things. I think Thorntons are quite nice, really. I think Hotel Chocolat, I've not had them for such a while, so, might have an idea, might have more of an opinion at the end of this one, really. Yeah, good to see you, SG, by the way. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. But, I think, which is best? Well, I might have more of an idea at the end of this one, because I've not had, let's say, Hotel Chocolat, a bit of a funny one, really. Their chocolate selections are very expensive, a lot more expensive than the Thorntons ones. So they're not as accessible, really. And I've looked at them, and I've never really felt that, they were really thought, I'll spend, an extra 50% or whatever and get this one, and I'll be getting more value for money. So, it's one of those, really. Yes, my blind test, yeah. I know that'd be quite hard to sort of do. I think that with what we're having to try and control where everything is as well. But it could be an idea, something I'll have to look into. Maybe I could do that. Yeah, but a blind taste test would be quite an interesting one. Maybe I'll have to have someone else to help me facilitate it so I can not knock stuff over and things like this. But yeah, it could be an idea actually, Cupid. It could be an idea, that one. I'll have to look into that. Yeah. But I'll think about that one. Yeah, it'll be a difficult one to do. That's the only problem. Sometimes, the administration or the facilitation or whatever, it can be quite difficult sometimes, or the logistics or whatever, all three of those things. But yeah, you're right. It would be a good way to do it, actually. Although obviously, you can take it to extremes with some of these horrible jelly bean ones you get with all the horrible flavours and things like that. Yes. Okay. Right. Okay. So let's give it a start. Then, shall we? Got any preferences for this one? We've got the vanilla raspberry praline, champagne, salted espresso, salted caramel kiss. And we've got passion fruit, macadamia praline, raspberry rose and lychee, and pistachio praline as well. A couple of pralines there, truffles pralines, and noisettes all seem to be, it's that term, isn't it, that sort of covers all three of them pretty much. Anyone got any preference? Anyone got any favourite they'd like to save till last or anything? Just go from left. Go from top left to bottom right, do you think? Or just go in a circle, clockwise? You maybe go in clockwise. So start with vanilla, end in passion fruit. How about that? What do you reckon? That'd be a way to do it? Or just let me know as you come across. We'll do the vanilla first anyway. We'll do the vanilla first. So we do have two vanillas, which is this one at the top. It's hard for me to... There we go, yep. Let's take it out. Now I'll only measure these once because they're all the same size. So there's no point really measure all of them every time. So I'll get my trusty champagne. So we'll do this one then the champagne, shall I? Okay, I'll start with this one, then do the champagne one. How about that? But yeah, I'll only measure them. So we've only measured them once. There's two white chocolate ones in the set, it seems. So what I'll do is I'll measure it from from those bits to there. Okay, so that's about 3.6 centimeters there. I'll try and measure it from the sort of tip of the heart to the middle in between the two. Dropped it there. Lumps, I guess you'd say. There we go. That was about 2.9 centimeters there. Okay, so there we go. So yeah, I don't know if it's worth measuring it any other place really. A bit hard to say, isn't it? But there we go. So you can see it looks very nice, doesn't it? Though it looks very nice. Okay, so what does it say about this one? So let's have a look. I'll push it to the screen. So there we go. Put it slightly offset so I can read it as well, hopefully. Let's see. Opulent Madagascan vanilla cream, flecked with real vanilla seeds. Okay. There we go. No alcohol, lots of milk. Yeah. Okay. Is it just literally called vanilla then? Yeah, it's not called vanilla or anything like that. Okay, so we've got two of these in the pack. Let's get the old trusty knife, give it a bit of a cut. So I'm assuming this is just going to look a bit like, the Lindt sort of vanilla flavour or whatever. Here we go. Looks very nice. Let's see, does it smell? It smells not too bad. You can see it's been slightly scuffed. One side if it focuses in a bit. Yeah, apologise for the state of my hands, by the way. So the cold weather's playing havoc with my skin at the moment, really. Yes. Oh dear, my hands are just, nightmare. Okay, so we've done a bit of a cut there. Alright, so not too bad. Let's see. So you can see, yeah, funny one actually. I'll put the top one to the main camera. You can see there that the yellow has come through into the milk chocolate. It focuses in at the top. You can see the vanilla flecks there. So nice vanilla flecks there in it. Looks pretty good to me. But you can see, yeah, I'm guessing that the colouring, yeah, it sort of is going through with the pink as well. Yeah, okay. I was thinking maybe it's only the yellow going through, but I think we cut it straight down the middle. So, yeah. Okay, looks pretty nice that. I like the vanilla flecks. I think they always look good. I think it's in the Magnum ice creams as well, is what I was really thinking of before. Yeah, there's white chocolate ones. So it looks pretty good, this one. So I think this is going to be quite nice. Okay. Right, let's give it a go. Give it a taste. First one. Let's see. Wow, the centre's very, it's very soft, very smooth, very liquid. It's almost completely melts away in your mouth. Yeah. That's not bad, that at all. Yeah, it's not bad. It's like, imagine a sort of the inside of a Lindor, but very, 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 very melty. It just melts so easy, you know, it really does sort of just liquefy you. When you bite into it, you just go straight through it with no resistance at all, pretty much. Not bad at all, that. And the white chocolate's not bad. Not bad white chocolate. I'm just trying to see. Yeah, there you go. I've kind of snapped off a bit of the chocolate there, so you can see that the pink does go through a bit. Now, I couldn't taste any, you know, flavour from that. And just taste the white chocolate. But this is not bad at all, actually. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Let's just have a bit of a nibble. Very creamy, very vanilla. Not sickly though. Probably would if you had a few of them, but you know, sort of one Lindor chocolate is quite sickly for me. This one wasn't really. That's not bad, that actually. I must say that's not too bad. White chocolate's nice. Nice vanilla cream in the middle. It is very much a cream. You know, it's pretty much solid to look at. Yeah, I quite enjoyed that one. I think that's yeah. Let's say it's not one that'll blow your socks off or anything, but definitely definitely nice. And I think that's definitely I'd say pretty much a 4 out of 5. I think for that one. I'd say not going to blow your socks off. That it's definitely not overly exciting as such, but it looks nice and it tasted good. It tasted good. Okay, so the champagne one then, you reckon, Scotty? I don't know if it's going to be a liquid one. We might have trouble with this when we cut it. Which one's the champagne? So we got 2 of them in case that does happen. You know, some of the sort of alcohol ones are literally liquids in them. Okay, so there we go. So that's what it looks like. It looks quite nice actually. Even though it's sort of, I guess you'd say, not very vibrant like the other one, but it looks pretty nice. Yeah. So they are sort of flat at the bottom. See where it's slightly been filled in, I guess, can't you, as well? I think that looks pretty nice. Now, as I say, we could be in trouble when we cut this one. We'll see what happens, I guess. We'll see what happens. Okay. What's the description? I assume it's probably going to be quite self-explanatory. Let's see if I can read it myself. Champagne. France's most popular champagne. Poured into whipping cream, encased in 40% milk. Okay, so it's not going to be overly liquidy then. Okay, so we'll give it a cut. Right, champagne. Do you get many well, then perhaps those Guinness chocolates you can get? You don't really get many sort of beer flavoured chocolates, do you? I guess it's not really a sort of romantic, elegant, chocolatey flavour, is it really? Unless you get like a man's, you know, typical man's chocolate selection, you know, maybe that's what, maybe then you'd get them, but I don't know. Okay, let's give it a bit of a cut. Okay, so there we go. So they are very, very sort of liquidy, truffly in here. You can see that the liquids come away with the knife there. Okay, there you go. Yep. Similar sort of centre, I guess. I think it's going to be very liquidy again. Does have a bit of a slight alcohol smell because it's not runny or anything. It's just, but it's very liquidy. Yeah, this is it. I'm sorry if I'm making you hungry there, QP. I'm sorry about this. Yeah, what can I say? You know, it is one of those, isn't it? Oh. Yeah, I do apologise. What can I say? What can I say? Okay, I'm going to give this one a try then. So I reckon it's, yeah, so it's pretty much a champagne truffle, I think, really, is the gist of it. You know, give or take a typical word. Let's give it a taste. It does. It does have your typical, quite strong, sort of champagne-y, winey taste. It does definitely taste of that. It's quite a good medium to have it in as well, that sort of cream, because it leaves it to be quite liquidy. Like I said with the one, the vanilla one, it was very liquidy. But while making it manageable, so you can bite it or do what we just did and cut it in half and things. It's not bad at all, that. I think I'm not a big alcohol person, though, so it is, I think, wasted on me, really, after, I must say, which is, one of those things, but I'm not going to mark it down particularly because it's not my thing. I think it's, like the other one, it was very sort of, it's, again, not going to blow your socks off. It's very nice, it's presented very well, it tastes good, it's very smooth and lovely as you eat it, and it is what it says it is, it's very sort of winey, champagne-y, that sort of creamy truffle. But again, nothing in there that's going to sort of blow you away. It's still a 4 out of 5, I think. But it's not bad. I'd say for me, really, it's probably a 3 out of 5. But I'm going to give it a 4 because I think it does have that champagne taste. I'm just not really a big champagne person or an alcohol person in my chocolate. So there we go. That's just me. But I'm going to sort of bump it up for that reason and give it a 4. So it's not really like as if... I think you'd still give it a 4 even if you're a big champagne fan, basically, is the gist of it. Yeah. See. What's in Asda? Sorry, Scotty. Is it Hotel Chocolat, or are you? Yeah. Oh, thanks, QP. Hope glad you understand. Yes. I guess it's the nature of the beast, isn't it? Honestly. Yeah. So you get a whole pack of Milky Bar. Oh, I see. Yes. It's funny you should say that. I've got Milky Bar cookies and cream coming up as one of the reviews to do. I might try and do it this weekend actually. And I saw them in the actual bar as well. So there's a cookies and cream bag of them, and I've got the cookies and cream bar as well, so I've got both of those. So Milky Bar always seems to be pretty popular on the channel, even by subscribers and non-subscribers, so it's one I definitely need to do, really. Okay, so let's move that somewhere. Okay, right, so keep going round, you think? Yeah, so we've got the we'll go for the raspberry praline next, I reckon. Now I've only got one of these. This is the first one we've only got one of, the raspberry praline. The Ritter marzipan as well. I had that a while back. Yeah, I had that a while back. Yeah, alcohol in chocolate. I don't know. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Yeah, QP and Scotty both saying they're not a big fan of it, and yeah, I think it's one of those, isn't it? And I think it's quite sort of divisive, I guess you'd say. I don't know, but by clearly it's standard, isn't it? And some people, if you're having alcohol, maybe you just prefer to have the alcohol and the chocolate, not sort of in it. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe someone will have to let me know if they're a big sort of alcoholic person or whatever. But yeah, one of those. Yeah, and the mini egg bar, not too bad. The mini egg bar, I do quite like it, but I'm on the fence with it because I feel like should I just have some the mini egg bar, did I say that? I'm not sure if yeah, mini egg bar, yeah. So I'm just thinking, should I just have some mini eggs basically? And that's my one thing with it. And it's a bit like that with the M&M bars as well. I do like them, but I'm just not sure whether I'd just rather have M&Ms or not. And I'm also a bit sort of, in the M&M bars instance, and the mini egg ones, they don't really put proper mini eggs or M&Ms in there. They have like the mini M&Ms or whatever. I kind of feel like, they should have just perhaps put the proper stuff in there. I don't know. Anyway, but digressing, back on Toast Chocolat. Don't worry about it in the chat, by the way. You can say what you like. Don't worry. It's just I've got to avoid trying to sort of get sidetracked too much. But yes, but yeah, I do like them as a whole. Though they are nice. I have to say. Okay, so here we go. It's got the raspberry praline now. So so let's give a bit of a look at this one. As I say, this one's a bit more of a plain one. So there's literally no real pattern on this one. Don't know why that is. A bit of a strange one. Here's the description. That's it. Nuts about raspberry, it says here. So a different name on this one. So of course, what I've got in the top left might have, that was from the website actually. So it's the up-to-date on the website, but of course they've got a different name here. It's called Nuts About Praline, so I'm not sure. Okay. Yes, only the best Italian hazelnuts from Piedmont, I guess, with a burst of zingy raspberries. Piedmont, how you want to pronounce it? Okay, right, let's see. Yeah, it does sound quite a nice one, doesn't it, QP, this one? Yeah, perhaps you're right, QP, perhaps you're right. It's one of those, isn't it? Yeah, if you're not, maybe it's just a bit of a happy medium between, it takes away from that crunch as much. Yeah, so you could be right there, you could be right. I guess it's a nice, it's just a different way of having them, isn't it? So yes, I think you're right, really, there. Okay, let's give it a bit of a cut, this one. I'll bring the old camera up so you can see. There we go, bit of a cut. Okay, Okay, so they're all quite soft. Oh, I quite like the look of this one. Let's have a. This one looks quite nice, actually, I have to say. You can see they've got like a sort of half and half sense here, like clearly a raspberry sort of cream or whatever, fondant maybe. I like the way it's sort of offset to the side as well. I quite like that. I don't know if that's on purpose or would be the case. We've only got one of them, so we can't even find out. Yeah, I think dark chocolate and raspberry, very nice. And I think I had that, you would have seen if you see my top 20 chocs of last year that I reviewed. There was a raspberry and dark chocolate one that did get quite high in the list. Yeah, that was very, yeah. So I'm a bit of a fan of it as well, I have to say. So what's the description again? Okay, well, it's got hazelnuts apparently in it, but I don't know. Yeah, right, it says a raspberry praline, so I guess the bottom bit is hazelnut praline. I guess it doesn't seem to have any chopped hazelnuts as such. There are little fine grains of something. Okay, let's give it a bit of a taste. Let's do it. That's very nice. Yeah, it's very tangy. It's very zingy, that one. It's a very zingy raspberry taste. Actually, quite yeah, sort of tart bittery. You know, it's very not bad. And to be honest with you, though, I feel like it's a bit too tart for the dark chocolate in a way. It's a bit of a funny one. It seems to they almost seem to fight each other a bit actually in this case. I mean, I don't know. I've not noticed that before in dark chocolate raspberry combos. But this one, because raspberry's not normally that sort of tart, I don't think. I wouldn't have said so. Just seems to be a bit of a conflict with the dark chocolate here. Yes, it's one of those. Where are you from, QP? Where are you from? Whereabouts are you in the? I thought you might have been in the UK or Britain. I'm not sure, but I don't know. Not sure if you actually specifically said that. I know Rick said he was from Canada. Yeah, it's it's good, isn't it? It's quite. I mean, obviously, if you squeezed it, you know, but you can clearly see it's not running. It's not run off the knife. It's a nice. It's still creamy, but they've managed to get them. All these ones so far have been very creamy, very liquidy. When you've bit them, they really have melted away in your mouth pretty instantly. But they're not. You know, they're not runny on the inside. It's not too bad that. Okay, right. Okay, QP. Yeah. Okay. I thought you were. I just had the impression, but just with you, what were you saying? Yeah, British Choc. I thought maybe you were sort of commenting from afar there, but okay, yeah. Yeah, so it's not bad this way. I'll just taste it again. Let's see. I can't taste the hazelnuts, I must say. This hazelnut praline is completely lost in it. And I kind of feel like it's a waste of time anyway. Why would you've got the dark chocolate and raspberry. I don't feel it needs any of this hazelnut praline, and you can't taste it anyway because the raspberry's too bitter. You get a bit of the dark chocolate there, but I don't know, I think in this one, I think the flavour's too raspberry, like there's too much. The raspberry's so bitter in this one. Maybe the hazelnut praline's there to kind of stop it being just basically full of that raspberry flavour because it's too bitter, really. It's too zingy, you know. In this case, you know, I don't think it needs to be like that. I mean, obviously, it's probably, I don't know, more natural or whatever, the way they've done it, so they've not tried to tape it back with, or hold it back with, making it some kind of artificial centre or something like that. I'm not sure, I don't know. It could be one of those. But based on taste alone, it does seem to be a bit too strong. And as I say, in this example here, it's called nuts about, you know, whatever. Nuts about raspberry. Well, as I say, you can't taste, even texture or taste that hazelnut praline, so it's a complete waste of time. So that, you know, so obviously in the so I don't know. So that's something against it. And I mean, obviously, you know, really, I think what people are really wanting, like we said in the chat, is that sort of dark chocolate and raspberry combo rather than any hazelnut praline. I think that's just not necessary at all, and it really isn't really. Honestly, it might just be there to balance it out, as in to try and hold back the raspberry. But in which case, you know, I think there's better ways to do it, or put in more dark chocolate and do it that way, you know, which is what people are expecting, I think. But they've played down the dark chocolate completely. I don't even say actually, do they, that it's dark chocolate. Only the best Eternal hazelnuts from Piedmont or whatever, with a burst of zingy raspberries. So it's definitely zingy raspberries. But it doesn't even mention it's dark chocolate. I think they've really missed the... they've not quite understood that one, I don't think, basically. They've not really worked that one out. And basically it just needs to be dark chocolate and raspberry. And just call it raspberry dark or something like that, I don't know. Yeah, so that one, it's not as good as it should be. Basically, they've really, there's a waste of time hazelnut praline in there, and the raspberry's a bit too sharp. And I think if it had more, if they put a dark chocolate praline, dark chocolate, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, in the middle as well, and I think it would have worked then. I think it would have balanced out pretty well. But unfortunately, it doesn't, and it's just a bit too sharp. And I think, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's quite as satisfying. I think you're a bit disappointed with that one, even though it's still not unpleasant. But I think it's a bit disappointing, that one. So I might go down a bit for 3.5 out of 5 for that one, really, just because it should be better. It's got a waste of time ingredient with the hazelnut praline, and the raspberries. The dark chocolate ratio for those two isn't right. It's just not quite right. So, so a bit disappointing. I'm putting maybe 3.5 out of 5 for that one, which is a shame. I think mainly because we know really that should be one of the best ones in the set, and there's only one of them as well, which is stupid. But in this case, perhaps we've been, if it was the best one in the set, then we would be very much, which it should be. We would be very disappointed. But as it turns out, they've kind of missed the ball on that one, really, unfortunately. Okay, so what do you reckon now? The salted espresso, or espresso, if you want to say it that way. Espresso, there we go. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes. So we've only got one of those again in the set. Let's grab it. So another nice looking one. Now I've noticed actually that they really only seem to use 2 colours in these chocolates. Really, I mean, I guess you could say the white as well, but generally it's just the well, maybe a bit harsh there. One of them is a bit of a darker purple, isn't it? But they seem to all be centred around these sort of yellow and purple anyway. But okay, I was being a bit harsh. There are sort of slight offsets of that, and there's different colours. So yeah, maybe. Okay, looks very nice though, doesn't it? Looks very nice. What's the description for this one? Yeah, salted caramel. Well, yeah, you're unlucky at the moment, QP, because at the moment that's very much the flavour, isn't it? That's the flavour of the month or the year. Yeah, I don't dislike it. I actually quite like. I think Twix salted caramel actually was really nice, and even though it's a very mainstream normal bar, it was one of the best salted caramel tastes I'd had. But generally, yes, I'm not. It's not something that wows me. I don't sort of look out for it and think, oh yeah, salted caramel, wow. I don't mind it though, I must say. But I don't know if it's like the be all and end all. But it's a very easy flavour for companies to do, because they've generally already got caramel flavours of something. So all they have to do is add some salt, don't they, basically? So it's very easy for everyone to do, to be honest with you. And I think that's probably partly why it's been so popular, because it's an easy one to do, and it sounds very, what's the word? Elegant, doesn't it? And this, that, and the other. It's a bit like the chili chocolate, isn't it? It's things that you wouldn't expect to go together. But obviously, salted caramel is an easy one to do, I would imagine. Here we go. So we've got the punch of organic Turkish coffee. Is given new depth with roasted hazelnuts. So we've got roasted hazelnuts again for some reason. And then, we've got hazelnuts anyway. And then enlivened with a pinch of salt. So it's Turkish coffee. Yeah, okay. No problem with that, of course, but it just seems to be sort of very exotic for no reason, really. But there we go. It sounds good. Right, okay. Roasted hazelnuts as well. Right, so we've only got one of these ones. That's another bit of a shame. So if it was a really nice one, we would be a bit disappointed if someone else had ate it. Let's give it a bit of a chop down the middle. Okay, well the top's almost come away actually in this one. You can see that's come off at the top. Yeah, so it has actually come away this time. So it does mean it's good in a way, that, because it does mean that it's actually been added separately. It's not just mixed in. There's actually some depth to it. So I quite like that when that happens actually. Does mean it's actually some substance rather than it just being sort of added, mixed in or whatever. We can't see any real chopped hazelnuts there, I don't think. I certainly can't. Maybe some somewhere in it, but yeah, doesn't seem to be, does there? Okay, well, we'll see if we can taste them. Right, okay, let's give it a bit of a taste. Okay, yeah. It looks very nice, doesn't it? It does look nice. Okay, let's give it a go. This one's a bit thicker. It doesn't melt like the others do. It's a bit more of a typical centre. Very much a coffee flavour. It's very coffee, and you can taste a bit of the hazelnut. There's definitely the hazelnut taste there to the coffee. If you imagine a sort of hazelnut flavoured coffee, that's pretty much what you've got with that one. Just taste this little bit at the came off. Yeah, that doesn't really taste of anything specific. I thought it might have a distinct taste to it, but it doesn't. Just tastes a bit of coffee actually, so I don't know if the flavour just bled through. Not bad, this one. It does seem to suggest you would get chopped hazelnuts. Okay. I think, hard one, that one. You can read between the lines. It says, the punch of organic Turkish coffee is given new depths with roasted hazelnuts. So it could be that they've actually sort of made the coffee with the hazelnuts, you know what I mean, or something like that. So it's a bit ambiguous there. It's a bit hard to sort of say for sure whether, you know, look, reading it very quickly, you'd think, oh, there's roasted hazelnuts in there or something like that, and there isn't. But it has a taste to it. So they're obviously, it's basically as if they brewed the coffee with hazelnuts. So it's basically hazelnut flavoured coffee. It's not bad, that one. Not bad. It's got a bit of a coffee taste, as I say, a bit of a hazelnut taste. I didn't really get much of a salted caramel though, to be honest with you. There was no. Yeah, okay. In fact, hang on, I think I got it wrong, didn't I? It's a salted espresso, wasn't it? It's not salted caramel. So yeah, okay. So there we go. It is a salted caramel. So I think I got carried away there. It's just above it, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. So it's just, yeah, it's just got salt. It's just salted coffee basically. I think I've yeah. Apologies for that. Well, there we go. So it doesn't have salted caramel in, so we got that right. Yeah, so it just, I didn't taste any salt or flavour, basically, is the gist of it. I don't know. That could be because it's quite difficult to tell. I mean, if you imagine when you are sort of making a cake or anything in your, you know, any kind of baking or whatever, you throw some salt and pepper and stuff, and it kind of just livens up the taste, doesn't it? You don't necessarily taste it specifically. And I think that's possibly the case here. So it's not bad actually. It's a pretty well-rounded chocolate, that one. It just tastes. It tastes of sort of hazelnut coffee. That's what it tastes like. It's not bad. I quite like coffee chocolates. I don't think, again, this one's going to blow your socks off. I think it's a so-so-ish one. It's a unique flavour, one you're not really going to have anywhere. But it's not like a memorable one really. I think it's, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't anything memorable really. You know, it's hard to say it's not average really. I think I might say a 3.5 out of 5 for that one. It's probably really more of a 3, but I think the fact that it's quite distinct, being a coffee flavour and the hazelnut coffee at that. And it seemed to work. It was quite nice. You know, it just wasn't anything groundbreaking. It was just a nice chocolate. Yeah, so, you know, I'll give it a benefit of the doubt and say 3.5 out of 5. But I think it probably normally would probably be a 3 out of 5, really. But okay, but it looked nice as well. Okay, yeah, so. All right, so that's salted espresso then. So now we've got the salted caramel. There we go. Yes. Okay, there. Yeah, salted caramel kiss this time. Okay, sounds very provocative. Yeah. So it's just a salted caramel inside the box, inside the menu. Buttery caramel and whipped cream with just a pinch of Gironde salt. So another pinch of salt. This one just had normal salt in. This one's got, I don't know why I didn't put Gironde salt in this one, but. But there we go. Okay, buttery caramel. All right, so it's buttery caramel. Hopefully it's not just a butterscotch type caramel, but as I keep saying, all of them seem to more be of a persuasion of. So again, this one you can see what it looks like. So they are, you know, they all look quite nice. But as I say, it's more of a sort of skin deep change because it's got quite a nice milk chocolatey, creamy milk chocolate look to it. Yeah, it do seem to be a sort of varied type of milk chocolate as well, which is a bit subtle. So I've just grabbed another random one from the tray. But you can see that, you know, I think they'd both be described as milk chocolate, but you can see that there's a difference to the colour of the chocolate. Keep it centred. You know, so there are subtle things like that I think you might overlook. Well, you know, if you're not thinking about it. So there are things like that to this set. So clearly there's a bit more depth to it than you perhaps would consider if you're just grabbing them and shoving them in your mouth, you know. So there is that to bear in mind. It doesn't really discuss on the leaflet. So there is that, which is worth thinking about. But obviously, you still, at the end of the day, it's still the taste, isn't it, that matters, you know. We can't get around that, even if they try and sort of, you know, dress it up. But okay. Let's have a think. So yeah, let's give this a cut then. Let's say, let me know if you want a specific one in general, but we'll keep going around the thing otherwise. So yeah, so on the salted caramel, so we got quite far. Okay, salted caramel kiss. So nothing really I quite like, it's quite nice. It's got, a name like the Kiss on it, I think. All the others don't seem to really have anything too... yeah, I don't know, like, for instance, the Nuts About Raspberry one had the sort of the more flavourful name on the menu, whereas this one's got the more flavourful name on the website, so it's a bit of a funny one. Don't know why they've kind of not standardised that at the moment, but let's give this a cut. Did we read it out? Yes, we did, didn't we? Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, so it does have a... You can see there, sort of at the bottom, there's like a different dome, I think. You can kind of see. Let's just move the... If it focuses in. Yeah. Quite a thick chocolate dome. And at the bottom, as I say, a bit of a dome. Okay, yeah, all right. I guess it's looks to be... I don't know, just give it a bit of a nudge with the knife to see. Yeah, sure. Looking at the bottom here, so just taking off the dome at the bottom. If you'll focus in on that. I don't know if that's a different... Yeah, not wanting to focus in. It's because it's trying to focus on my face. If I cover my face, it might do it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I don't know if this is a different sort of layer at the bottom. It's hard to say. It seems to have separated from the other part. I can't really tell for sure if there's a different layer, so I'm not sure if there's like a little mini layer at the bottom, but it does look different. If I attach it back on, you can see it's like a different colour there on that dome, so to the rest of it. So it does look like there's like a different bit. So I don't know if that's like a saltier layer or something to give you that sort of saltiness bit. Maybe we'll try that in a minute. Okay. Yeah, alright, let's give it a go then. So, not sure what to expect of this one, just maybe salted caramel, but we'll see. Let's give it a taste. Not bad, not bad. A bit more of a... Basically, it is a bit more of a sort of butterscotchy type taste again. To the caramel. It tastes a bit like a Werther's Original, basically. It's that kind of taste to it. You know what I mean? It's a bit sort of, yeah. Not too bad, but as I say, more of a butterscotchy caramel. A lot of these chocolate selections seems to go that way for some reason. Just to be that sort of, as I say, that more butterscotchy taste. Toffee-like taste. Let's just give this bit at the bottom a taste to see if it was any different. Not sure. No, I don't think it was really. It seemed that way, but I don't think it was. Not too bad then, this one, but I'm not a big fan of... Well, I don't dislike them, but I prefer my caramels to taste a bit more of a buttery caramel. I mean, rather than butterscotchy, if that makes sense. A bit like, your Cadbury's caramel or your Galaxy caramels or just typical caramels, really. I'm not a big fan of them when they taste a bit butterscotchy or toffee-like, really. Although the toffee one's a bit... I think a toffee is more chewy, basically, so I don't mind that. But I think what I'm trying to say is like a burnt taste or something like this, or that kind of thing. Or I think this one, as I say, has very sort of the buttery, butterscotchy taste. So I don't know. I'm not sure if that's what I'm looking for in a caramel, really, for me. And all these, I think all but maybe one of these sort of caramel chocolates in these chocolate selections has been like that. It's been a bit disappointing for me. Yeah, but if you love, let's say, Werther's Originals and you want a liquid form of that, then maybe that's what you're after. But I don't know. For me, that's not really what I'm after in a caramel. So I think I'm probably going to give this one a 3 out of 5. I think not too bad. It's got a bit of a salty taste. Yeah, but maybe a bit. Nothing. It's not. I don't know. Just it's just what it is. It's a 3 out of 5 basically. Yeah, there we go. Nothing too dramatic there. Okay, I'll just give my knife a bit of a clean just to get the caramel taste off it. Okay. Right. So, okay, so I think we're over halfway through, I guess. Not doing too bad. So what have we got? We got the pistachio praline now. Yeah, fancy giving that one. Anyone got any preference, by the way, or go for that one if you fancy? Yes, this one. No, let's just check. Yeah, I think this is one we've only got one of. Looks to be. Yeah. So this is the third one we've only got one of, I think. Okay, so there we go. I think that's the one. Looks to be. Let's have a check. It's just called pistachio on the card. So I don't know why I said they're not consistent with the names either. But you can see this is a very sort of creamy milk chocolate you can see on this one, can't you? It is very much it's a very creamier milk chocolate looking than the other ones, like I've mentioned before. You can, like I say, there are sort of subtle differences, and you can see in this one here, both are milk chocolates, but you definitely would say that this one here, sorry, is a lot creamier than the other one. Well, I'm assuming both milk chocolates. I don't think that's dark chocolate. It's definitely not as dark as the other one anyway, that we had, the raspberry one. Okay, so what's the description on this? Let's have a look. Try and read it in reverse. Where is it there? Is that it, pistachio? Just got it off to one side so I can read it. Caramel draws out the pistachio's natural roasted notes, the perfect couple. Okay, so it's caramel and pistachio there. Okay. It says pistachio praline in the other one. Okay, so all right, we'll see. It's got a bit of caramel in there apparently as well. Let's give it a bit of a chop. Yeah, so not too bad. I feel like we had a good peak at first. So the first couple were very nice. Then we sort of dipped a bit with the champagne and salted espresso, maybe the salted caramel kiss as well. We sort of went into average country. So we had a really good first couple, the vanilla raspberry praline. Although the raspberry praline, I think again, wasn't quite as good as it should have been. I'm looking at the list in the top left. I know we did them slightly out of order, but you know what I mean. Yeah, so okay, we'll see. We'll see how it keeps going. I bet it's got a praline this one, and again the pralines are quite standard affairs, so I'm not too sure what to make of this one. It's a very fluffy centre. You can clearly see this one's a bit more solid. Well, it looks to be a bit more solid anyway. Definitely has a greeny colour to it, doesn't it? Yeah, clearly looks pretty bit greeny, that one. It says there's caramel in there somewhere. I don't know if at the top there's a bit of caramel. So you can see I'll just mention it actually before I do this. You can see the sort of the purple there has bled through slightly into the. It could be just where the knife's gone through actually, but yeah. I don't know if there's a bit of caramel on the top there. I can't tell. Let's see if. Yeah, I don't think there is. Just sort of took that bit out there, that bit that's sticking out. I just took that out the top because I thought maybe there's a bit of caramel, but I don't think there is. You can't see any caramel there. So I'm not sure where the caramel comes in basically. It does say there's some in there, but we'll see. Okay, let's give it a bit of a taste. Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, I think you're right there, Scotty. Yeah, sometimes you like salted caramel, but sometimes you forget the salt. I think that's right. And I think in that last one, it wasn't particularly noticeable specifically. I mean, I guess you'd say, oh yes, it's perhaps a bit more salty, but it tasted more of the buttery taste as well. Yeah, so I think if you're going to do it, you've got to go all out, haven't you? Really make sure it's very distinctive. Yeah, and so in that last one, yeah, it was a bit like you said. It was just a bit of nothing really. It was more the buttery, salty taste to it. Yeah. So okay, let's give this one a go. See what this one's like. So it should have some caramel in there somewhere, but I can't see it. But we'll see. It does have a very pistachio taste, actually, as you probably could imagine. Not bad, not bad. There's a bit of a creamy taste. I think it does mention. Yeah, okay, no, it just says caramel. It has a bit of a creamy taste to it. I can't really taste any caramel in there. I mean, maybe it's just a subtle thing that does exist, and you just can't specifically taste it. I'm not sure though. Obviously, there's something to make it a bit creamier. Maybe they've just, as I say, added caramel. But it does taste quite. It is quite liquidy. It does dissolve in the mouth like the others do very quickly. Other than perhaps I think it was the. Which one was it now? Was it the salted caramel one? Can't remember. Okay, but yeah. It's okay. This one. I think it's It's a bit. It's a bit creamy, really. If you can imagine sort of, grounding up pistachios, so you got sort of like a crushed pistachio paste almost, and then adding cream to it. That's pretty much what you've got here. And I'm not sure it works for me. I'm not a big fan of overly creamy stuff, and you can see that the milk chocolate was a lot creamier as well. It was it clearly was a bit more lighter brown than than some of the others or the rest of them. Yeah, for me, I think that creamy centre doesn't quite work. I'm not, if you're regular viewers of the channel will know that sort of the creamier milk chocolates I'm not a massive fan of. So you bear that in mind. But But yeah, I think I don't mind pistachios, and I quite like them. I can eat them, you know what I mean. Usually flavoured, I guess, but I don't generally eat them not flavoured. But not too bad. Nuts are a bit of a funny one for me though. I prefer. I'm not really a fan of them generally mixed in with chocolate or ice cream and things. So I prefer them to be on their own. Eating them separate generally. Not always, of course. But this one really is just the taste of pistachio because there's no solid in there at all. It's literally a paste. And as I say, we've added cream to fluff it up or whatever. Or caramel as the case may be. I couldn't taste caramel at all. It's just creamy taste to me. So yeah, with that in mind, I think a bit disappointing that one. I think you'd say. I think it definitely tastes of pistachios, but I think you'd be expecting something a bit different than what you get, especially when it talks about mixing it with caramel and stuff like this. I think you'd be possibly expecting. Well, does it say a pistachio praline? It does on the description on the top one, but it doesn't in this book. So it's I don't know. I don't know. They're not consistent with those at all, really. So it doesn't even. There's no description of pistachio praline in there. It just talks about caramel. It doesn't say pistachio praline or anything. So I don't know. I think for me that one, I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe giving it a 3 is quite. I mean, it's not awful or anything. It's not horrible. But I don't know. I think it's just disappointing. Really, I think it just doesn't quite. There's no caramel in it. I mean, I guess it is a pistachio praline, but it tastes very creamy. I don't know. It's as if they've added another flavour in there that I don't think they needed to, or for me it doesn't work. It's just too creamy. But I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt again. It's probably more of a 2.5 out of 5 for me. Really, I think it's slightly. Yeah, I'm going to say 2.5 out of 5, I think. I don't think I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I think that's what it is. I think if you like the creamy taste of it, just serendipitously, that's your thing. I think you probably could bump that up to 3.5 or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's really just a sort of very creamy praline that tastes a bit of pistachio. And that's it really. So, I don't know. I think if obviously, like all these things, if for some reason that just really it triggers your favorite flavor, it ticks your favorite flavor box or whatever, then clearly that's going to be a 5 out of 5 for you. And I think that's the case with a lot of these things. But I think generally, I would say that's just a bit mundane and not quite delivering on what I'd expect. And I don't think that creamy, nutty taste is for me really. So there we go. Yeah, I think a 2.5 out of 5 for me, but. Could be a 3.5, a 3 for you, maybe a 3.5, but yeah, I don't know. I am a fan of pistachios. It's just the creamy side, I think, just doesn't quite work. So there we go. Okay, so what have we got now? We've got raspberry rose and lychee. So this looks an interesting one, a tea flavoured one. So this is definitely the kind of flavour I think you'd be expecting that's a bit different in these kind of selections, rather than just your typical salted caramel, tick box, and all the rest of them. Pralines, hazelnut pralines, tick, you know what I mean? They're very typical ones. I think this is a flavour that is definitely something that you would hope to find in this kind of thing. Not necessarily something that you would, might not be something you'd necessarily like, but it's something you'd expect to find. If that makes sense. So yeah, okay, let's have a look. So have we got more than one of these? I think we've got 2 of, no, I think we have only got 1 of these, yeah. So this is the 4th one we've got 1 of. Yeah, I feel like it's not quite right that. It should be, yeah, okay, anyway. All right, so maybe I've worked it out wrong. I think I probably have actually. Okay, so which is the T one? I was basically saying I feel like we should have 5 that we haven't got 2 of, but I think it's probably right that with this 4 we haven't got 2 of. Okay, so where is it? There it is in that corner there. So raspberry rose and lychee. There we go. So what does it say? If it focuses in, it's my face stopping it. I think I can't read that unfortunately because it's. So I'll let you have a read of it and I'll read it out myself there. Okay. Let's have a look. So what does it say? Delicate lychee and blush of rose, loved in 40% milk and raspberry. Okay, weird way to write, isn't it? Delicate lychee and blush of rose, loved in 40% milk and raspberry. So I assume blush of rose is something, not our blush of rose, but blush of rose. I don't know. Seems to be a bit odd way to write that. But it looks quite nice, this one. I think this is one that definitely looks a bit, like you'd expect it to, being, I don't know, it just looks very sort of nice and lovely, this one, doesn't it? I think, and blush of rose and things like this. I think it lends itself to the design, to the colours. Sort of like pinky blush colour. Interesting one. Yeah, definitely an interesting one. Let's give this one a bit of a cut. Okay, let's see what we see. So this is going to be this is the unusual one for the set. I think maybe passion fruit as well. Mind you, I guess maybe the pistachio praline's a bit unusual. Slightly unusual anyway. Okay, well it definitely looks interesting. You can see the inside, very light colour there. Don't know what I was expecting really, but it smells quite nice. Let's see. It's a very I don't know what you'd say, rose smell. I'm not sure what you'd call it, but it's definitely sort of that kind of, if you imagine, the smell of pink essentially, I think is the gist of it. It smells a bit sort of, sweet, quite nice. I'm not sure if you can say it's definitely smelling of rose or whatever, but it has that sort of, if you imagine if you imagine what that smell probably would be like, that's pretty much what it is. Not too bad though, not too bad. Okay, right, well, let's give it a taste. I'm quite interested in this one. I think it looks interesting on the inside as well. Obviously, I guess normally when you're eating these, you'd probably just put them in your mouth at once. You probably wouldn't specifically, see what the inside looks like, but it does look interesting. Okay, let's give it a go. Crikey. That's a very, you know what? It's a pretty fancy way of basically saying that it's pretty much the taste of Turkish delight. That's pretty much what you've got. So Andrew Winton would love this one. Let's see. So, it's got this lychee stuff going on. It says lychee, this, that, and the other. But to be honest with you, what I'm tasting is sort of liquid Turkish delight when I have it. That's a rose Turkish delight, of course. That's the taste you get. I can't taste anything other than that, really. I'm sure there probably is something in there that might give a subtle change to the taste. But essentially, when you have this and you eat it, it liquefies in your mouth. So you're basically getting sort of like a liquefied Turkish delight taste. So, it's a bit of a strange one. I think they've made it sound a bit posher than it really is, let's just give the other half a taste. It has a funny starting taste to it as well. Maybe there is something else slightly there. Excuse me. It's a very it's a funny one, this one, to be honest with you. There is something else there maybe as well that gives it sort of some other taste, which might be the lychee. I don't know if it's a nice taste or not. There's something else there. I think at the end of the day, the taste as a whole is really like a rose Turkish delight, and there is something else slightly there maybe that gives it a slight hint of something else when you first taste it. Maybe we'll give it the benefit of the doubt for that. But generally, it's really just a sort of Turkish delight in liquid form, really. I'll say liquid because, as I say, when you eat it, it dissolves in your mouth, and this, that, and the other. So it's probably a bit, style over substance, that one. But it says raspberry in there. Maybe the other taste is the sort of zingy raspberry. Maybe that's what it is rather than the lychee. It is a bit of zingy. But really, it really tastes more of Turkish delight than anything else. The rose taste is quite strong. I think it's probably a 3.5 out of 5 for me, that one. I think if you love Turkish delight, I think this is more your thing. But for me, I'm not a massive... I don't mind real Turkish delight, by which I mean not the fried stuff. I mean like as in if you have this sort of real Turkish, like covered in icing, sugar and things. I think that's quite nice, actually. A bit different, and perhaps not my favourite thing in the world, but it's more... I like it like that. I think having it flavoured in chocolate doesn't really work for me. I think it's just not quite right, not quite a combination that works. And I think it's not too bad in this case. Because it's like a liquid form, it just liquefies. It's more the flavour rather than the texture of Turkish delight, which isn't the same as what I'm saying before, where it doesn't work. But essentially, you've still got that taste, really. And I don't think it's like a, I don't know. It doesn't. I prefer the texture and the taste and the icing, sugar and things in the real Turkish delight rather than just the rose taste, if you know what I mean. I think if you really like that rose taste or whatever, then I guess this is the one for you. But for me, it's not. Turkish delight isn't really just about that. So for me, for this one, I think it's probably a 3.5 out of 5, I think. So not too bad, but a bit different. Not like something you get anywhere else, but at the end of the day, still the flavour of Turkish delight. There we go. Okay, yes, so I think, wow, what, we've got two more left. I think macadamia praline next. I think is that the next one. Yes, we have got two of these, I think. Let's see if I can find it. Macadamia praline. So it's called salted macadamia in this one. So we've got different names again. So this is I'm not considering the company and things. I don't know. Maybe the website's just out of sync with what they've got in the chocolates. I don't know. Maybe they've kept the website the same from last year and they've updated the chocolates. But for Chocolat isn't a small company. These should be identical. What's on their websites, which is I literally got that today. That list, you know what I mean. These chocolates were delivered Wednesday, I think. They should be in sync. I don't think that's unreasonable to expect that in that period of time. Yeah, and they're not for some reason. So that's a bit rubbish, I think. It's been not, I don't know. It's a bit rubbish, that, I think. And they definitely update the website quite frequently because they have a sales section which is updated pretty frequently. So it's not like they have to, only do it once a month or something. Well, you know what I mean. They've updated that this week, basically. But yeah, okay. So salted macadamia versus macadamia praline, I guess. Okay, so that's what we're up against. So what's it say? Eloquent. Roasted macadamia, punctuated by garon seeds. Oh, we already had that one. Okay, so salted caramel was the garon salt. Whereas we didn't get garon salt in the salted espresso, we just had normal salt, presumably. Yeah, okay. So I don't know whether the one really did have garon salt, whether it matters. Looks like it's sea salt. Is that a sea? Maybe the garon? I'm not sure. Presumably a location if nothing else. Okay, well, all right, there we are. Eloquent roasted macadamia. Okay, so we'll see if there's actually a physical nut where it's just a praline or whatever. But I'm assuming it's probably the praline based on the other description, but we don't know that because they're both different. Okay, let's have a look. Because obviously, if you just bought the chocolates, you would just really have what was in the you just have the menu, wouldn't you? So I'll just wipe the rose taste. I mean, that definitely would cause trouble with this one. Okay, let's go with a chop. See? Okay. Okay, so there we go. Yeah. I can't see chunks in there, can you? Looks like it's literally just a praline again. Yeah, alright, so, I mean, it's an easy thing, a praline, isn't it? Just literally whipping stuff together and then, that's it really, aren't they? And giving you a sort of, essentially a cream version of something, which is okay. I guess it's very liquidy though, this cream, in all of these. Okay, let's give it a taste. Let's see. So macadamia. I'm trying to think. Do we know what macadamia nuts taste like? I don't quite remember now, but we'll find out. Let's see. Let's give it a go. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You definitely get that macadamia taste. Let's put it that way. Definitely reminded of that now. That sort of woody, nutty taste. But no pieces of it. It's literally just a paste praline, creamy praline taste. Like all the other sort of middles. Really, I don't think any of them have had any bits in particular, other than perhaps the vanilla pieces in the vanilla one. So again, that's all you're getting really in this. You're just getting that. I mean, did it say? This is salted macadamia. Again, I can't really taste the salt. I mean, it could be salt in there. I'm not specifically tasting it, I think if there were pieces of macadamia that were salted, I think that would be something you could distinctly taste. Yeah. Again, just that nutty taste, basically. I think I would have preferred it if they were, rather than just all these sort of smooth praline fillings. Again, if they just varied it a bit and had some with actual nuts in the centre. I mean, I'm not really a nut person. But you know what I mean, just to vary it up a bit, because they're all just very similar on the inside, really. And I think it lends itself to some of the centres, like the raspberry one, the champagne one, the vanilla one. But then when you got to the pistachio ones and the the macadamia ones and things, I don't know, it is an opportunity, I think, to give you a bit more, even if it's just chopped, macadamia nuts or chopped pistachios. I think it would just add a bit more to it and make it a bit more authentic and a bit more what you're after if you're interested in those flavours. And you could really sort of, you could provide you know, the saltiness to those chopped pieces, if you know what I mean. And that's actually quite nice when they flavour them, or honey them, or whatever they do. If you know, in some, was it a Carl Fazer bar or a Ritter bar or something, they have had, or both, they have had those sort of nut flavours going on where they have roasted them or honeyed them or something, and they've been quite distinct, you know, and nice in the chocolate. I just think they're just not quite doing that here, and it sort of seems a bit lazy when you've gone through all the chocolates and they're all very similar, you know. You could argue maybe it's the theme of the set, but I'm not. I don't know. I'm not sure I buy that. I think it's convenient as a gist of it. Yeah, so this one again, I don't know. It's a bit mundane. It could be the fact that, you know, if we start at one of them, these taste a bit special for the one we start at, and then by the time you get to the end, yeah, maybe I have to bear in mind that they might start to be a bit, because they're all quite similar. The speciality of it, or the specialness has disappeared somewhat, but I'm not convinced that's the case with this one. I think this is really quite a very average one. You know, it's just a sort of chocolate shell with a very liquidy centre that tastes that has a macadamia flavour to it. Basically, no texture of macadamia at all. Just the flavour. So yeah, I think it's probably a 3 out of 5. That one, pretty average one. That one, you know, yeah. Well, not neither one thing or another, really. Okay, well, hopefully we've saved. Let's see, we still got this one. Yeah, we have. Yes, okay. We've got to save one of the best ones to last. Now it does look a bit not quite as vibrant as it does, assuming this is the one. In the packet, I've got 2 of them, so we do have 2 in this case. But you can see that the yellow is very dulled from the purple, so it's not just a one-off, or at least you know, maybe it's a one-off as far as the box is concerned. Because there was some vibrant yellows elsewhere, but it's clearly not quite worked on top of this purple, or they've not added as much of it. Okay, but they look very identical though. They are pretty much identical actually. As in, you know, they look very similar. The way it's thinned out on the top. Yeah, they look very identical though. So that's something at least. But what I meant by it was, you know, it doesn't look like it's, you know, they look very uniform, so it's hard to imagine it would be different another time. Okay, right, let's give it a quick wipe just to get rid of the macadamia. Okay, right, the last one then. So let's hope we've got save the best to last, fingers crossed. Yeah, you have to say you're right there, Alan. Yes, yeah. It was, I think it was QP asking which was the best out of Thornton's and this one. And you would say, yeah, you know, Thornton's has a bit more of a variety. Now, of course, this is one specific H box. The other ones might have more going on in them, and I think they are slightly different. This one does seem to be themed all around these pralines, basically, or this kind of centre. It works better in some than others. I feel like this one's going to work pretty well with it. This passion fruit one. Is it passion fruit? What's the actual description? The zing of intense passion fruit cuts through light cream white. Doesn't read very well again. I have to read that again. The zing of intense passion fruit cuts through light, creamy white. Okay. I don't like the way that's written, but I can see, you know, having read it twice, you know, it's easier to read. But okay, there we go. Yeah, I think yeah, okay. It looks very nice, this one. But yeah, I think, as I say, they are very. I don't know. The texture is quite a one-trick pony, isn't it? I don't know if that white in the centre has come down from the top. As part of the knife, whether that's actually in the passion fruit. I think it's just come down from the top because there's none on this side, and I cut it with a knife. Yeah, so I think you're right, Alan. I think yeah, I mean, Thornton's, you know, all the other chocolate ones we've had, as we've seen in the past few weeks, they've all generally had quite a lot of things that are very similar, like pralines, truffles, noisettes. They're all essentially, it might be slightly different, you know, but basically they're all the same. So they all are kind of guilty of reusing the same thing over and over again. But yeah, I think this set in particular is very much focused on one specific type of centre. Now, of course, when we start to, you know, I might try and do a few more Auto Chocolat stuff in the future. And we'll see if they vary. I mean, they do look to vary from the look of them. These ones are all sort of heart-shaped ones, and this, that, and the other. The other ones, at least I assume by them having different shapes, you know, they seem to not be ones that are filled. They seem to be layered chocolates and stuff like this, you know. But we'll see, I guess, when I review some more of them. If this focuses in, is it going to focus? It's not focusing. Doesn't want to focus, this one. I don't know why. Okay, I think it's done there. Okay, let's give this one a taste then. Let's see. Is it the best till last? Let's find out. Yeah, you can see there, yeah, how sort of liquidy it is. You can see how it's scooped off. I'll see if I can show you there, but I can't quite. But yeah, it is very liquidy. It's falling off the top. Yeah, okay. Can't really prove it to you there, but never mind. Okay, let's give it a taste. Wow. This is quite an intense flavour as well. It's a bit like the raspberry one with the dark chocolate, but obviously with passion fruit and white chocolate. So you bear that in mind. It's quite nice actually. It works quite well, this one. I think this one's a bit more balanced. It doesn't have that weird hazelnut flavour going on. You know, with the raspberry praline had some kind of hazelnut praline in there for no reason whatsoever. It just didn't seem to work. It's as if they hadn't balanced it out quite right, you know, and they couldn't work out how to do it basically, and they just threw in hazelnut praline to try and do it. Whereas this one works really well with the white chocolate actually. It's quite zinging, not overly so. Unlike the raspberry one. This one's pretty well balanced actually. I think they've realised that this one actually works. And we need to work on the raspberry one. This one's actually pretty good. It's a very nice passion fruity, creamy flavour. I say creamy because it's still got that sort of same praline sense that it's quite creamy basically, just the way it is. But it works pretty well, and the white chocolate's nice with it. It works with it, you know. It's a good combination actually. I think, yeah. I'm trying to see. It's one of those where they did say the perfect couple in the pistachio one. Caramel and draws out the natural roasted notes for the perfect couple with pistachio. Seems to be a load of nonsense, that one. But I would say that this sort of passion fruit and white chocolate combo, which nothing is made of in the description from what I can see. It says it cuts through the light creamy white. Bit of a stupid description there. I'm not too keen on that. Excuse me. But this one, yeah, I think this is a perfect couple. This works really well. It does work really well. It's nice. It's a bit like the Terry's chocolate orange, you know, with white chocolate. That works really well. You know, it tastes great. You know, and this is a bit like that actually. It's a very good one. I really like that one. I think it's yeah, it's just really nice. It's just really nice and works. I'd say again, it's missing that sort of X factor. I would say that you'd really expect. I think with a chocolate selection. You know, it's like when we were talking a couple of weeks back. I'm not sure where saying that sort of you'd expect. You know. Obviously, if you put these side by side, you know, with regular chocolate bars that I've given a 5 out of 5 for, not quite the same. There's a different expectation there, I think, is the gist of it. And these ones are more rich and intense. You couldn't eat as many of them, whereas you can kind of with your regular chocolates. And these sort of work in a different way, basically. So what's a 5 out of 5 for a regular chocolate bar? It doesn't necessarily mean it's as comparable with these ones, basically. And because of that, I think this one, you know, even though it's really nice and works really well on a par with like the Terry's White Chocolate, which I did give a 5 out of 5, I think this one's missing some kind of X factor that you get. It's not very solid. You know, it's just not quite. It doesn't have something else to it. You know, you'd expect. You know, some of the others like the Lily O'Brien selection we reviewed, they had various levels, different sort of layers, and they really sort of made a lot of effort to make it like into a different textured experience as you bit through it all. This one doesn't have anything like that at all. You know, it's very much just a white chocolate surround. You bite into it and you just got like this creamy layer in the middle that has an intense sort of passion fruit flavour, and that's about it really. You know, it just sort of comes and goes and it's gone, you know. And so for that reason, it's still really nice and it's a lovely one. I think it's probably the best one in the set actually, but I still think it's probably a 4 out of 5. I just think it's lacking something to lift it above that. You know, it's still really nice though. You could argue maybe I could give it a 4.5 out of 5. But it's just what with the nature of it being so similar to all the others and nothing really standing out too much other than that passion fruit flavour, maybe the white chocolate. I feel like I can't really give it more than a 4 out of 5, even though it's the best one in the set, you know. So, but it is really nice, that one. I really enjoyed that one. I think it worked perfectly, really. I just think it's just lacking something to make it special, really. Yeah, I don't know, and I think what makes something special in these sets compared to what makes something special in a regular chocolate bar is different. You know, it's not the same thing. yeah, you know, these are like one shots, aren't they? You have a little chocolate and that's it. You know, as a chocolate bar, you know, in a few of them and stuff like that. You know, yeah, I'm sure you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so you know, if there was a chocolate bar of this, I think it would be different. It wouldn't just be the same as this. It would have to be, the texture would have to be different. It wouldn't just all be this liquid that would just melt like that. It would be different, you know. It has to be bigger and all sorts. You know what I mean? It's different rules, I guess, is the gist of it. But yeah, so overall, well, I think this is. I think someone, you know, yeah, I think perhaps it was it QP again? I'm not sure it was a QP or yeah. I can't try to think who it was now. Who was it said it? A QP. I think it was QP that said it earlier on. Maybe Hotel Chocolat's a bit overrated. I'm not sure. After this one experience, I would say perhaps this isn't quite the great chocolates you expected. And I think I haven't looked at the reviews online where they were kind of a mix between 3 and 4 stars, basically. Obviously, some people gave them 5. But the overall average was about 3.5, 4 stars, I think. And I think that did stand out to me. I think I was expecting an average of 4.5 to 5. And it seemed to be 3.5 to 4. What I remember anyway. And I think that's probably about right, really. I think that range of scores, because I think it's okay. They're not terrible, but there's just nothing that really overly stands out. I mean, maybe the passion fruit one, the raspberry one's got promise. But other than that, you know, they kind of, you know, yeah, I don't know. They sound okay. The vanilla one wasn't too bad as well. I think that worked with the white chocolate as well. But again, it was not too dissimilar to perhaps a white chocolate Magnum. You know, I can imagine. I think I get more enjoyment out of just having a white chocolate Magnum than that vanilla chocolate. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. Or even a couple of those chocolates. You know. So there we go. And again, Turkish Delight, stuff like that with the raspberry rose one. So I think for me, yeah, it's a difficult one really. It's definitely between a 3.5 and a 4. I think really is the gist of it. I feel a bit, yeah, it's a difficult one. I feel like based on the price, based on the fact that you only get sort of like, there's 4 of these at least, I think, that you didn't get 2 of. Yeah, so we've had them all now, haven't we? So I think there's 5, yeah. There's 5 got 2 of, and then 4 you didn't, presumably. Yeah, it must be right, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's right. So there's 4 of these you don't get 2 of, which is a shame. It's quite expensive. It's about £12, £13. £13 actually, I think it is. It's quite expensive, really. You do get 9 different types of chocolates, which isn't too bad. It's just a lot more than most have. It's probably a good amount, but it's a shame you don't get 2 of some. I think it's difficult to say, because obviously if they just sold you 9 chocolates, then, you know, you get less, but you'd probably pay less, I guess, presumably. But obviously, if you did only, you know, I think it's just a bit harsh sometimes that you could lose out on one you liked because someone came in and took one, not knowing what they were, and they don't. Not some of them do look a bit similar in hand than they do, you know, on that selection. And you might just not really think about it, you know, when you take one. If someone just came and pinched one, I think that's always a bad thing for me. I think. I mean, obviously, if we've always complained in the past, some you got 3 of others and 2 of others, and it's not quite as bad, but it's still, you know, not great. But this one, it's definitely going to be affected by it if someone just pinches the only one and one you like. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say a 3.5 out of 5. I think that's the gist of it. Just for those reasons. In fact, there's nothing that really stands out. Some of them are, you know, there was a 2.5 there, wasn't there? And a lot of them were 3s. Some of them were 3.5. I think there's only a couple of 4s. I think 3.5 is probably about right. And I say they're expensive for what they are. They're not really any differentiation between them other than the flavours. The textures are all the same all the way through. There's no texture changes. And not, you know, and especially when there could be, even the pralines don't have any real nutty bits in or anything like that. Yeah, and I think the one that you know, and it's really disappointing about the raspberry one as well. You know, they really messed that one up somehow, having the hazelnut praline in there, which was no point whatsoever, and the raspberry was just too bitter, and there wasn't enough dark chocolate. It just didn't quite work with the dark chocolate, whereas the passion fruit one worked with the white chocolate. They were really well balanced. But the raspberry one just didn't work with the dark chocolate. They kind of weren't quite right together. So, yeah. So 3.5 out of 5 I think is fair enough for me. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Alan. Glad you agree with that. Yeah, glad you agree with that. Yeah, I think hard one to say how this compares with Thornton's. I think that was the gist of what, you know, perhaps yourself and someone else was asking. I think you've alluded to it anyway with your last comment there. I think Thornton's, you know... It's a hard one to say. This is only one set. That's the problem, isn't it? Thornton's have a few different sets, but I think generally Thornton's, they might do like a truffle set, and I think this one isn't labelled as like a truffle set, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, it says a collection of 14 irresistible heart-shaped chocolates filled with caramels, fruits, tipples, and pralines. I don't feel like, well, there's no mention of nuts there to start with, but they're all filled with the same thing. It's the flavours that are different. It's not really true, that, I don't think. Not filled with all those different things. There was no caramels in there, I don't think. It was like it was a flavoured caramel scent. It wasn't really caramel as such. It was that same sort of centre, but flavoured of caramel, really. I didn't really get the feeling like I was eating caramel. You know what I mean? So I think, I don't know. So back to what I was saying. I think Thornton's, their selections, they do have like just truffle selections, and then obviously you're just going to get truffles. But generally when it's a selection like this, which you'd expect different textures, they will give you a variety of textures, even if some of them are the same, just called different names. You still get a few different things. And I think they do still fall foul of repeating themselves, like I said. But I think this one, they were just too similar all the way through, really. And as I say, it was just the flavours, but you never got lifted up. None of them ever stood out by having a different texture. So that was I think that was the problem with it, really. And the ones that were good, as they were, I think maybe the passion fruit one was only the one that really worked. Maybe the vanilla one. I think the raspberry one, the raspberry probably just didn't work quite well. And maybe the champagne as well, if you like that. But again, it was just champagne flavour. It wasn't anything else in it. There was like a milk chocolate surround, but really it was all about the champagne centre. Whereas the passion fruit one was also about the chocolate, and the raspberry prime one was also about the chocolate as well. You know what I mean? It's So different one, but I did like the way, as I say, they did have different levels of milk chocolate. A subtle change there. They weren't obviously just using the same thing. He's obviously thought about it in some respects. As I say, some of them, particularly had a lighter milk chocolate than others. You know what I mean? And stuff like this. So they've clearly tried to think about it, but I don't know. I feel like they've, was that just an accident really, rather than anything else? Because I say with the raspberry praline one, it's completely doesn't work. They've not ironed that one out. Well, it not completely doesn't work, but it doesn't work as, they've got it wrong basically. So and I don't know how they could have got away with that. I don't know why they've put hazelnut praline in there. You can't taste it. It adds nothing to it. And you only need the raspberry and dark chocolate flavours anyway. Everyone knows that that's a good flavour combination, and they've not worked it out right. It's as if they've just not really had the wherewithal or the ability to construct that one properly. And I can't believe that from a company that just makes chocolates. I'm sure it's a combination that's been done before. In fact, that Giardelli bar did it. You know what I mean? So there we go. Right, well there we are, everyone. I think we've we got through it. Our first Hotel Chocolat special Valentine's Day edition. Hope you all have a great day tomorrow. Obviously if you buy your own, more chocolates for you. That's the way I look at it. But maybe have a great day either way, and don't worry about it if you are on your own. As I say, it's just one of those things. I think most people are. It's myself included. But to be honest with you, it means less hassle for me. More chocolates for me, less hassle for me, and it's cheaper as well. I don't have to feel guilty if I don't get flowers or something like that. So there we go. So there's some positives there. Maybe not as many, but there are some. Okay, guys, well, take care then. I'm glad you all could arrive. I hope you're doing okay. Thanks, everyone, for joining, as I say. Thanks for your comments. I know some of you don't always chat or whatever, but thanks for watching either way. It's great that you join. Great to hear for those who do. Alan, Scotty, QP, Rick, of course. Yes, and I don't think... yes, and Luke as well, if you're still there, of course, Luke. Thanks for abandoning the football. Well, I think the football was abandoned, but either way. And obviously Andrew wins and probably in the catch-up as well. I'm sure we'll be watching it then. Okay, take care, guys. Have a lovely day. As I say, great day tomorrow as well. Enjoy your chocolates, either yourself or sharing them. Hopefully more for yourself, as I say. And thanks, Alan. Thanks again, Alan. It's great to hear from you, by the way. And thanks for joining as well. Your support is truly appreciated, Alan, by the way. It really is. Thanks so much for that. And great to see you in the comments as well. And I'm still thinking about doing that tier list as well, by the way. I've not forgotten, so it's still, don't worry, I've not forgotten about that. Thanks for your suggestion, by the way. It was a good suggestion, that as well. Okay, thanks again, everyone. Take care and have a lovely day, as I say. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now. See ya.